Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel. Cha-cha-cha.
Good morning to you. It is Coffee and Time here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. It's Monday morning.
You're welcome, Joe.
It's,
You're totally welcome.
It's Eclipse Day. If you haven't heard, it's
come
Monday.
on.
It's April 8th.
Really?
I'm
Really,
tired of it
really,
already.
really.
I was tired last week.
Last week about it. So anyway,
So I got some rest over the weekend.
that's Dave Richards over there.
No,
Hi,
I'm only
Dave.
sick and tired of it.
And that's Melissa Murray over there. Hi,
Good
Melissa.
morning. Does everyone have their glasses? Does anyone?
No, we talked about this earlier.
I don't.
I don't know.
I got a phone call here at the station.
I don't have them. I don't want any.
Over the weekend. They said, now, where do I buy the glasses?
Wherever
And
you
I
want.
said,
Wherever you
to
want.
tell you the honest truth, I haven't paid enough attention about this to even pay attention, but I do know that none of our regular advertisers are advertising in their radio ad scripts that they have glasses for the Eclipse. So I'm saying, okay, I want to give you an answer. I just don't know if it's right. Why not try Walmart?
You're correct.
Yeah?
Oh, the big box stores have them. Yeah.
Yeah?
Are they the right ones? Are they correct?
Yeah, or
I
are
don't.
they the fake ones like
the
you get
fake
on
knockoffs,
Amazon?
yeah.
I don't know.
All right, very good.
I'm not
That's a good
taking
place
any
to-
chances.
It's a good place to start. I saw people posting online. It was the Woonsocket page on Facebook. Oh yeah, the fireworks store has it,
Oh.
and all the liquor stores have them. Well, okay.
Liquor stores?
I don't know. You got to go out and have your glasses
I
and your bottle of
don't
hooch
know
ready to
if-
watch the eclipse.
Yeah.
Maybe you
I'm-
see more than one eclipse. I don't know.
I know, and a lot of people,
I'm
I think, are
just
concerned. Are
saying.
these really good glasses? Are these not good glasses? Are
Right.
the
Don't
and,
take it.
and quite frankly,
chance.
anything will be better than the naked eye.
True.
Not necessarily. I mean, you could be putting on fake glasses. It could be just as bad as looking at it through the naked eye.
That's what I'm saying. Anything will be better than the naked eye because you're foolish
No,
if you look.
Well, keep
But
going.
you can
Will you
use
let
the
me
pin-
finish?
pinhole.
Because you're a fool if you look at the eclipse with the naked. Don't try to focus on it. Now, don't
Right.
be worried about, okay, well, it's right up there and I can't look. Well, don't focus on it. Mm-hmm. You know? But you're really foolish if you do it without anything. Oh, I'll just do it for a minute. That's all it takes.
A minute. So don't expect that your $1.25 glasses from the sunglasses from the dollar store are going to help.
Well, there are certain standards, and they should be printed on the side of the glasses.
Okay.
But
Like anybody would know what it is.
you can Google
Should be
it.
a neutral.
You can Google it.
A neutral density filter factor of 3.
You can use the pinhole method where you interlace your
Yeah.
hands, and you can watch your reflection, and that's a safe way to do
There's
it.
all kinds of
with your
different
back
ways
to the
of doing it.
sun.
You know what's
Obviously,
an easier way to do it?
What?
The TV stations that are filming it.
Just watch it on
the
watch
news.
the replay.
Watch on the replay. That's right.
I
They'll
did see.
they'll probably
I
do
gotta.
this-
I have to mention
and
this.
they'll speed it up so it'll go real fast.
I did see a post asking if the trash pickup was going to be delayed
because of the eclipse.
and someone
Wow.
said no, they'll just have to collect trash in the dark for an hour.
All right.
Well, it won't be totally dark. We want to remind everybody.
right,
that-
right.
And the damage that it can do to your eye is heightened at the place of totality. We're 90% total here.
That's right.
So there is a lesser chance of damage to the eye, and the reason why there's damage to the eye is that if you were a regular day like today and you looked at the sun and you kept in your field of vision, you would naturally squint, and your iris in your eye would close to protect the insides of your eye. The reason why it's such a big deal is that the same rays are there, but when the sun's visible light has been obscured, your iris does not close as much, you do not squint the same way, you do not have the natural defenses in play that would naturally protect your eye.
Yeah.
All right, so just be careful, and we should make it through this okay. Kind of like how we made it through the earthquake last Friday,
Yes.
which I read
and
about
all of the aftershocks,
afterwards.
which I didn't
Yeah,
feel.
I didn't.
I
feel-
found out about
I
it
feel
afterwards.
one.
Now, I felt earthquakes
Yeah.
here in Woonsocket before. They were aftershocks of things.
Yeah.
I felt them where it was quiet, and the speakers were shut off, and he just go, and you knew that it was a shake from the ground. And then you look it up on the website and you find out we had a little aftershock or something like that. So if it was something bigger than that, I think it would, rise to my attention. But for some reason, 10:23 last Friday, I was chugging right along at my desk doing my work, and I didn't hear nothing.
I was out on the
I
road.
did not hear. I was listening to the Do You Remember show. I did not hear them say, "Hey, what was that?"
Yeah.
So they didn't.
I feel like they would
notice
have made
it
a big
either.
deal about it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you felt it, hey, good for you.
They say it was felt up to Boston. But then
Yeah.
again, like maybe we wouldn't feel it here, but in another part of the city they might.
I have a friend that posted online. He's got a big collection of, because he used to work down at McCoy Stadium, so he's got a big collection of Paw Sox bobbleheads. And all of a sudden, he saw all the bobbleheads shaking their heads
That's
at
so
the
funny.
same time. He's like, "What's that?" But didn't see anything else. But it was like a possession kind of thing going on.
That
All of a
is
sudden, all the
so
dolls started
funny.
shaking their heads. He's like, "What's that?"
I would have freaked out.
And then he's like,
what is going on?
And then they all stopped. And then he read about, is that?
It
Oh,
also
the tremor
depends.
came up to the house.
It's
It
the
also
ghost of
depends
one
on
of
what
the
kind of
bobbleheads.
soil you have where you are. If you are like over on Washington Street, where everything is perched on sheer bedrock granite, well, you're going to feel it more because it's a harder substance and it's going to shake you a little bit better. But if you're like we are over here on Park Avenue or just on, primordial sediment, then, it's got a little room for shaking before you feel it.
I believe I was on 146 and driving when it took place, and I would have thought you would have felt it there, but
Obviously, your
No.
tires
No, to
absorbed.
you're already moving. I
care of
figure.
all.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, congratulations goes out to the University of South Carolina women's basketball team. A perfect season. I didn't realize they were perfect. 38-0, and they defeated the University of Iowa and the best player in the land, Caitlin Clark, beat them by about 10 or so points. So good job to them, and good job to the Boston Red Sox, who started the season 7-3 on their West Coast swing. They have today off, and opening day is at Fenway Park tomorrow. And as I told Dave, I read online, despite the Boston Red Sox front office best efforts, the Red Sox are in first place by, I think, half a game on the Yankees. So
Temporarily.
yay for that. And the UConn men play for the national championship tonight. So best of luck to those guys as they go for the national championship.
Yeah, people will finally watch the men's game.
Well, it'll be on tonight, so yes.
Did you see the cold open on the Saturday Night Live show
No.
from New York City? They had a little sketch where it opens up on the post-game show of the men's Final Four tournament. The game's over, and now the learned pundits of basketball are on camera there. And I don't know enough about the learned pundits of basketball to know which pundits they were portraying. But the deal was really simple. They started up. They started the show. And, hi there. Well, it's the post-game show. And, so that was quite a game we just saw. And what do you think so-and-so? And they go to the former basketball player. Says, oh, I missed it. I was watching the women's game. And then they said, well, you must have seen it because we were in the studio together. Yeah, no, I was watching the women's game on my phone. And that whole game obviously had a lot of competition.
Yeah. So people are kicking around the idea. When Caitlin Clark jumps to the WNBA, will this gather more interest in that
it will.
league? Well, right off the bat, it will.
At first it
done.
will,
This
yeah.
is how it happened with men's
I wish
basketball.
I wish there was a team in Boston. There is a team at Mohegan Sun. Somehow they're not. What do they call? They're the Connecticut something. And I don't know. They're just not. They're more of a New York team, so there's not much interest in that around here. So maybe if there was a women's team.
So we don't have
I don't know.
don't have a home team
Well,
per se.
we do and we don't. I mean,
Yeah.
that
You
is
can
the
get
home.
to-
That is the home team.
You can get to
so-
Mohegan Sun faster than you can get to Boston from here.
No, hour and a half to get to Mohegan Sun.
No.
Hour to get to Boston. Yes.
Maybe from where
Maybe
you
not
live,
an
but
hour
not from
and a
Woonsocket.
half, but an hour,
It's
a
well, at
little,
least an
and
hour.
more, and more. Yeah,
All right.
depending on how fast you drive.
So we had another.
Well, that might be the
Fast and
point
Furious.
right there. It's all highways,
Oh,
Yeah.
I know it is. Yeah.
Right.
So just be careful on Route 6.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
where the most of the police officers hang out.
Oh,
with
yes.
with their radar guns. So we had another incident where parents behaving badly at basketball games.
Mm-hmm.
This one was
Tiverton,
in
right?
Tiverton.
Yeah.
And the cops got a call. Someone said, someone called in, oh, someone's got a gun here. I don't think that was ever actually proven. But when they get there, multiple players are being assaulted on the court.
What?
Now, I'm thinking this is not the young kids, the 5 to 7-year-olds. These kids have got to be older. But there's a big melee going on the court.
That involved just students or parents or like what was going on?
Doesn't say. Although it does say the armed individual was taken into custody.
So there was an armed person.
There was one person arrested. Disorderly conduct and simple assault, but they say his weapon was not to be involved in the fight.
Just had it.
He just had it with him, and maybe he's okay to have it with him. I don't know.
Well, if it's at a school, he's not okay to have it.
Well, they're not at a school.
Oh, okay.
They're at the Longsplex Family and Sports Center.
Okay.
So it's one of those big buildings that have 8 or 10 or so basketball courts in them, among other things. So it's not at a school, but it's just, why are you bringing a gun to this event?
Right.
Unless you're a cop, I guess you have to have it with you. But and then what caused the melee where the multiple players are being assaulted?
Yeah. Awful.
It is incredible, and it's going to lead to to leagues being disbanded. So we can't get together and play basketball anymore because there's just too much foolishness going on and too much violence. Mm-hmm. So
because they can't afford to have, a metal detector at every game and every place. Like, and you shouldn't have to.
Is it going to come to the time where there's going to be nobody in the stands?
Oh, that'd be awful.
We got the team, we got the players, you got your coaches, referees,
no parents,
officials,
no,
and
terrible.
that's
terrible.
It. And maybe we'll get one camera, Dave, and we'll just focus it on the whole court, and we'll just stream it. That's how that's how the parents will have to watch it. Yeah, really. There'll be no announcers. They just here it is and watch it from your phone.
Yeah, I refuse to do that. That's how we lost the Brown University contract. They wanted me to do that.
Just
I said,
one
nobody's going
camera?
to watch that.
Yeah.
They wanted me to do it for ice hockey. And I said, well, if you have a full hockey setup, and this was before high definition television, it's almost impossible to see the puck anyway.
Yeah.
Here it's going to be
Keep pulling that
impossible to
far
see the
back.
numbers on the players.
Right.
I mean, Mom and Dad won't be able to tell if that's little Johnny out there
Yeah.
on the ice or somebody named Dan.
Because they all look the same. They're all wearing the same jersey and the same color helmet.
Right. I said, you just a full ice camera shot and it doesn't move, and oh my goodness. And then they said it'd be the same as if they were sitting in the stands.
No.
I said, no, it isn't.
No, that's not a good argument.
So,
But it may come to this for these, younger, 16 and under tournaments. That's it. We're not, which is too bad because it's a moneymaker for the sports complex. They charge, I don't know, $5 to get in or whatever like that. And they lose out on concession stand stuff as well. But geez,
right. And
you
who's
gotta weigh
inspired to play their best when no one's watching? Right. I mean,
that. Oh yeah, you like
it's
you like hearing people cheering for you.
yeah,
like
and
that.
it's just a more. It's a totally different experience, right? So.
Yep. But all right, they're looking for a man down in Westerly. They believe he fell into the Pawcatuck River.
Oh no.
Sunday night. Yep. They say he's a man of 40 years of age, and they had to stop locating him because it got too dark. Mm-hmm. And so they'll start again. Well, they're probably doing it now that it's light out. So, but that's what's going on. They're using boats and drones to try to attempt to locate him.
Yeah, probably not a rescue at this point.
Probably not.
Just a search.
So they'll be looking for that. And that person down there in Westerly. That water's so cold this time of year. Mm-hmm. All right, break time here on the Coffee and Program. More is coming your way, so stick around. Comments and questions, and we're going to get to a comment coming up after this on the Coffee and Program. 766-1240 for messages.
The Estepato Memorial Chapel is dedicated to assisting families and friends during difficult and stressful times by listening to each family's individual needs and providing options that are suitable for the family. All questions are welcome about possible choices and preferences in planning funeral and cremation services. Sue DePato and her staff continually strive to abide by the highest standards of the profession. and they attend to many of the small details. To speak about pre-planning or other needs, please call Sue DePardo at the S. DePardo Memorial Chapel, 1583 Diamond Hill Road, Woonsocket, 767-5577.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores. ON Radio. And it is Coffee and here on ONAM-FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, and Melissa Murray is here as well. Thanks for joining us. And a comment to get to, and it's about RIPTA, the ongoing, and this is what the caller writes, the ongoing and existing problems that should be solved always seem to be at a standstill. I mean, like, why isn't RIPTA funded as a public service instead of a self-funding agency? Ooh, Melissa, you got a comment on that?
I absolutely agree with
the caller here?
With the caller. This is so important, and we're talking. We were having discussions over the last 3-4 months about the Washington Bridge closure and all of the construction going on everywhere, and how it's just really difficult. And wouldn't it be nice to just get on a bus to be able to get to your destination? But you can't do that if you don't have a stop near you, or if there's not a stop near your destination. And we need to be expanding RIPTA right now and funding it.
So how would it be better if it's a public service rather than a self-funding agency?
I think it's limiting as a self-funding agency because you need more riders, but you can't get more riders if you don't have the routes that people want, right? And then I think there's a certain amount of state funding that needs to go into that to bulk it up. And there is a proposal. There are laws that are proposing to do that this year, and I fully support that.
All right. Dave, do you have a thought on what should RIPTA become a public service instead of a self-funding agency?
I was against it becoming an authority in the first place, but it was necessary because private enterprise couldn't make a go of it. So you had to give it to someone who could continue to exist while losing money, and that meant government. So the government says, I ain't going to do it. And in Rhode Island, they said, let's make an authority. It's not really a department of the government.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a freestanding thing, but it's got our blessings, and we protect it and stuff like that. So it's kind of like the state,
It's a
but
quasi.
not really the state.
Yes, it's a quasi.
So we'll make it
public
an
agency.
authority. And
Yeah.
so they did. And there you go. And so it's doing, and then of course
And then
they say,
we didn't invest in it.
they say, well, it was designed to lose money. Let's let it lose as much as it possibly can. And
for how long?
We'll starve it off because we don't want to give it any money because we didn't want to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
So let it worry about that. It's just like it's not going to go bankrupt because it's like born of the government and like it's our responsibility, but it can be really bad and like that where a private concern couldn't afford to operate that way. They'd be in bankruptcy court in no time. So anyway, I was against that, but it was necessary. So obviously it happened. And now here we are almost 60 years out since RIPTA started. Am I right about that? Somewhere in that
Not
vicinity,
sure.
50 to 60 years?
That long? Wow, okay.
Definitely more than 50, probably 65 maybe. If I'm going back, because RIPTA, I think, started in the mid-60s. So am I in favor of them? What was the question again?
Should they be
should they
funded
be-
as a public service or keep them a self-funding agency?
They were always supposed to be
Yeah.
funded as a public service.
Well, looks
they
like it's
were
not
always supposed to be.
But that's not happening.
Well,
Well,
take
most
it up with your
legislators
local-
don't take RIPTA.
Well, right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I did
so
for
it's not a-
almost like the first
So it's not a concern for them.
year of session when I was
Yeah.
car hunting, and I took RIPTA
It'll drop you
to
at
the state.
Drop you at
Well,
the
right
state
across the
house?
street.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Right.
That's easy
Sure.
enough.
So
Okay.
it was convenient for me because it drops you off right at that train station. You walk across the street. There you
A
are.
lot of time is wasted because you have to adjust yourself to their schedule in order
True.
to get there up to a certain
True, but
time.
if you work
and
it
then
into
hope you
your
don't have a
schedule-
really late session because they do stop picking you up.
That's the problem. That's the problem. But you know what? There are a couple legislators who take the train. One is in Westerly, another one in South County, and Sometimes they have to leave. They don't get to stay
get
for
the
that.
last train.
Yeah, sometimes they don't get to stay for that 6-hour hearing. Poor them.
Are you hearing, or are the RIPTA people hearing that it's just not necessary because of Uber and Lyft?
No, no,
Okay.
Oh no,
not at all.
because nobody can afford the Uber and the Lyft at their rates now.
You can't take
when
that
they
every
first
day.
came around, they were cheap.
Yeah, not anymore. Yeah,
No.
I found that
Like
out.
in a pinch, if it's a question of like you being too impaired to drive home and like calling an Uber at 10 o'clock
Okay.
at night for one time, but you can't sustainably do that. And with somebody who didn't have a car for a while, there were times when I took Uber, and okay, I wasn't making an insurance payment or anything like that, but that's not sustainable.
No, you
it
can't
really
continue
isn't.
doing that.
Okay.
That's for the one-offs.
Yeah.
And you know what I would do if I needed a ride like that? I'd call a cop. Say, "What's your advice, officer? What do you think is available to me here? Because I have no idea how I'm going to get home, and it ain't safe to walk."
They would tell you to walk.
Would a cop tell me to walk? Do you think?
Yeah.
Even at night?
Police
Yeah,
officer
they
wouldn't
can't
tell you to
give
get
you
an
what
Uber?
they can't. Well, if you don't
Or a
have an
Lyft.
Uber, right? They would say get an Uber or a Lyft or call a friend. That's what they would say. Call
Or
a
a
friend.
cab?
I don't
Call
even
a
know if
friend.
you can call a
friend
cab
might be good
anymore.
advice.
Call a friend if the
I'm
friend
just
might
trying
be.
to think
You
of
know?
if I was stuck in Providence, I missed the last train.
You'd be like, who?
How would you get back to
who-
Woonsocket for the night? I mean,
Yeah, right.
It's a lot more expensive to rent a room,
Well, yeah, I don't want to do that.
right?
You're not going to be sleeping at the steakhouse.
And you still got the same problem when you wake up in the morning.
right,
Still a
exactly,
problem, still
exactly. So you would probably call a friend and say, oh, "I'm so sorry, I won't do this
Yeah,
to you again.
that
I
could
owe
be.
you. I'll buy you, dinner or whatever."
I'll get you a Coke. Anyway, but I know it's not the Rhode Island, but yeah, walking back to my car in Worcester over the weekend, I saw cabs. I go by a gas station and a convenience store, and cab pulled right in, waiting, and two people that were waiting for it got in and took them wherever I want to go. So
In a bigger city, sure, but
I guess it still works.
I can't remember the last time I saw a cab in Rhode Island. I really, honestly can't
Not even
remember.
not even down in Providence.
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, alrighty. Let's see. Moving along. Well, it looks like a lot of high school seniors looking to stay in Rhode Island, and they got a record number of applications at the University of Rhode Island.
Good.
For for this coming fall. The application totaled 26,800. Wow.
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
that's up 1,400 from last year. I don't think
That's
they can.
huge
They
increase.
can't admit that many students. The university is being recognized for its programs, top class facilities, and supportive college community. Application increase is being noted for URI's engineering, nursing, business, and education programs, along with
Excellent.
the higher number of transfers, adult learners, and veterans. So, wow.
Good. It's good. It's not the worst problem to have.
No, that's
Right?
that's a great problem.
It's a great problem to
for
have,
the
especially.
university. to
And I
have.
love hearing more nurses and more teachers because we need those desperately.
I didn't know they had nursing done at URI. I knew they had it at Rhode Island College.
They
but
do
no.
have it at Rhode Island College as well.
All right. Tonight there is there's a work session for the city council. Correct, there, Dave?
There is.
John Ward sent us this message, so let's hear
Well,
about
it's
that.
actually a meeting, a special meeting.
Special meeting tonight. All right.
Yep.
Here's John Ward.
The Woonsocket City Council will be conducting a special meeting this evening beginning at 5:30 p.m. in Harris Hall. The first part of the meeting will be in a closed executive session to discuss possible property acquisition and disposal. That will be immediately followed by an update on the status of collective bargaining with the Professional Technical Union Local 3851 and a contract for the Deputy Police Chief. We will then discuss several litigation items related to tax assessment, the police retiree benefit settlement, and the case involving a property sold at tax sale that has been disputed by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. I will conclude the closed session with a review of the status of the investigation of the Mendon Road land purchase. The meeting will then be open for presentations by the Planning Department on several areas of their responsibility, including the proposed updates to the City Comprehensive Plan, followed by a discussion of the Park Corporation's Cass Park Community Center proposal.
Okay. So that'll be tonight. And unfortunately, because it's closed, we cannot air it
Right.
on the station this evening. But that's what's happening this evening.
Yeah, you just can't put it on the air if they're discussing private stuff. So.
Right.
Right.
And you know, you
It's
could
against the
you
law.
could just sit there and wait for them to stop doing the private stuff, and then when they go into the public session, you could put it on the air.
But there is no public.
They
session.
don't know when it's going to. Yes, they
Yeah.
are. They says,
Oh,
he
okay.
says
yeah,
it
the
right
planning
there.
department
Yeah.
and,
That's
and all
right.
those
They
presentations.
But you
they
don't
will
know
have
when.
these. They
Don't
will
know
have
when.
a portion of it that could be open to the public, but it's totally impractical for the radio station to sit there waiting for that to be done, and then open it up and then stop programming. People are not going to be sitting around waiting for
Waiting.
that.
they're
that
not.
want
They're
there.
not going to stay on the.
And the people who are
Waiting.
listening for the tunes, and they're going to be ticked off. The people who wanted the council meeting are not going to be listening anymore because it was all tunes. So there's just no practical way to do a meeting that's a hybrid like that, although the last several of the council meetings have ended in an executive session.
that's
They
more
did their
practical.
public business starting right on time, and when it was over, they voted to go into executive session. They didn't finish.
off.
We shut it off because you're honor bound to shut off the microphones when they start talking private. You know.
Well, Dave, you could go on. I can give you my joke book, and you just read jokes until they're
Oh,
ready to come
gosh.
into public session. That'll keep the audience
the
whole book-
amused.
Well, you should.
The whole book.
It
you
could be
should-
5 minutes. It could be
Hours.
Yeah, it could
you know,
be, and you don't
95
know.
minutes,
And
right.
you don't know.
You don't know. There's no way to
Meanwhile,
know.
you've got to sit there listening for the line to come live.
Right. Yeah.
And then at a moment's notice, you have to do something and interrupt programming to get it on. Well, it just doesn't rise to that level of importance, Joe.
Make sure you finish the joke, okay?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, I guess I got nothing better
You
to
see
do.
what happens when they have a recess during the school committee meetings?
Oh, I know.
We'll have a 5-minute recess. 20
10
minutes
minutes
later,
later.
we're still playing promos and PSAs. Yeah, boy.
Someone's not watching the clock. Well, it looks like they got nothing else to worry about down in Providence. If the Providence City Council and the mayor are at odds with each other over a bike lane in the street, that's what they're concerned about
It's a big deal, actually.
in Providence
Yeah.
to them.
So
Okay.
Well, it is, and I know exactly the bike lane that they are talking
Yeah,
about.
it's on South Water Street.
Yep, and it's a large bike lane,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes up like one whole lane's worth of traffic.
All right. So
They
the mayor wants that out so cars can use it, right?
yeah,
Okay.
I disagree with the mayor.
And the city council says no, and it's all because of the Washington Bridge
Right.
situation.
One lane on one street, is that really going to help congestion overall?
Maybe that's what the city council is agreeing with you,
Right.
saying because they passed a resolution that says, nope, we're protecting the bike lane. The bike lane stays.
Yeah, I would vote with that.
And
Yep.
how it must be used quite a bit.
It
especially
is.
now that the weather's starting to warm up a little.
It absolutely is, and it's next to it's alongside Lanier Park,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of foot traffic there. So, and then the bike path continues, and you can go like through the park. Yeah, I mean that's a quality of life issue, and the amount of money they're going to spend, and once they take it down, you know it'll never go back up.
Right.
So
When's
yeah,
the-
I
when's the
don't know
bike lane coming
why.
back?
I don't know why the
Yeah.
mayor would even contemplate this. I don't know who would be whispering in his ear to do this, but it doesn't. It's not really a short term fix, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll be a long term. It'll never come back.
Right. Okay. Unless you get a lot of bike people together and said, okay.
That's what they had to do to get it
been
in the first place, and it
That's
took
right.
years and years and years and years.
Oh, then that's what will happen again to try
Yeah.
to get it back.
Yeah.
All right. Front page story of today's call. We had a little incident over at the CVS in Park Square. A city man's facing felony charges in 2 jurisdictions. He got caught in Park Square with a shopping cart full of merchandise stolen from the CVS and prescription tranquilizers
Oh boy.
that were in his pants. Yeah.
Prescription that he stole from CVS.
Yeah. I don't know how he pulled this off, but okay. He's been charged by the Woonsocket Police Department with possession of controlled substance with the intent to deliver, obstructing police, and resisting arrest. North Smithfield also booked him for felony shoplifting, released him on a court summons because he was released to the city police.
Right.
So
So he He stole enough merchandise to escalate it to a felony.
Yeah. That, and don't we have...
What was he trying to take?
Oh, it doesn't... What, the actual merchandise?
Everything.
Like just whatever?
He's walking down the street with a cart.
He just rolled the cart right out the front door and just decided to like run it down the street.
Well, how did he get to Oakton and Park Avenue
Oh,
with a cart full of
jeez.
stuff?
I missed that part.
And the cart came from CVS.
Oh my gosh.
You guess. How did he get there from inside the store?
You know, those little things go off. Do-do-do-do if you go through.
Got me.
I don't know about CVS doing that. It doesn't say exactly what he just had. He was just pushing a CVS cart full of what was later determined to be stolen. They pulled a gun on him because this guy is known to police and he's known to have weapons on him as well.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay.
he's been arrested at least 2 dozen times since 2008.
Gee.
So that's how they know. That's how the Woonsocket
Okay.
police know
So-
this guy.
He was a regular.
He's a regular visitor to Cranston. All right. Do you know anyone in Oregon, by the way? That's where the Powerball winner was drawn.
No.
I don't either. Dave, anyone in Oregon?
No, I don't know anyone in Oregon.
Yeah.
Archie Dusablind.
Oh, that's right. Archer's out that way. It wasn't him that won, was it?
I don't think so.
Send him a quick message. Say we all love him and could use $1 million. All right, break time here on the.
What
Coffee
was
and
the
Pro-
what was the
Also,
winning?
the guy who
pot?
did the engineering study for ONFM lives
right.
in Oregon now.
What was your
in
question,
Portland.
Melissa?
What was the total winnings?
Oh, 1.3 billion.
Yeah, something-
Yikes! To one person,
One ticket.
one ticket.
Yeah, out there in Oregon.
Oh,
yeah.
someone better find that ticket.
Yes, you're right. Weather forecast now weather being sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone.
Brilliant sunshine today, except for that eclipse this afternoon with a high of 65 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, overnight low of 42. Tuesday's weather mostly sunny, high of 65. Wednesday, a 40% chance of a shower, cloudy all day with a high of 54. Thursday, 60% chance of showers likely, cloudy, high of 58. Friday, an 80% chance of showers with a high of 63 and cloudy skies. Saturday, it's going to be a partly sunny day with a high of 56. Very breezy, though, with winds over 35 miles per hour from the west. And Sunday, mostly sunny and 62.
Currently outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, where we have sunny skies and 44 degrees. Free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Our family caring for your family. The Holiday Retirement Home is a skilled nursing and rehabilitation facility with a home-like atmosphere where laughter is the best medicine. The Holiday keeps their patients and residents involved in varied activities and events so they have the opportunity to live life to the fullest. The Holiday Retirement Home has their own in-house physical, occupational, and speech therapy staff with more than 300 years of combined experience. Stop in for a tour. The Holiday is right off Route 99 on Sales Hill Road in Manville, and for more information you can visit their website at holidayretirement.com. For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
When you're thinking about a place to go out to eat with your family or the whole gang, or maybe something quieter for just the 2 of you, head over to ON Radio's website, woonsocketradio.com, and click on the restaurant guide. This gives you a listing of the best restaurants in the area. You can take a look at menus and possibly even make reservations. This is a great resource to see a bunch of restaurants all in one place. Remember, it's wonsocketradio.com and click on Restaurant Guide. And if you own a restaurant that's not already listed, call WOON Radio at 401-762-1240 for information on how your restaurant can be on the Restaurant Guide. Call Joe at 401-762-1240. It is Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan, along with Dave Richards and Melissa Murray. We get a note
RIPTA is going to hold a public hearing today
Oh,
and
good.
community meetings on revised proposed service changes
and where will that meeting be held?
in Providence.
Ironic, I can't get a bus to get there.
I was gonna go there.
Isn't that interesting? Can you actually get a bus to RIPTA headquarters, which I think is in Cranston, the headquarters, that is.
Yes, but this is going to be.
They have an
Providence.
outpost at Kennedy Plaza at the
Yeah.
big bus
Yeah.
terminal there, the terminus, the center, the hub.
Is that where the meeting is, at Kennedy Plaza?
I'm looking. Hold on.
Or is it going to be at the
No.
State House? No? Okay. No?
They say in Providence. That's all they're saying so far. I'm reading the press release. And there'll be another one next Monday, the 15th, in West Warwick.
So just get off in
And on
Providence and walk
April
around?
18th in Pawtucket.
But doesn't tell you where.
Well,
Other
I'm
than
looking
the
down
other than
here.
the
I'm
city.
not seeing it, Joe. Not in this. Well, maybe.
right.
Wait, hold on just a
While
second.
you're scrolling.
There's a second page.
They got to tell you where.
This is all the changes that they want to do in it. Schedule public. Okay, here it is. Today, Monday, April 8th, the Providence Foundation 30 Exchange Terrace in Providence from 12 to 2 and from 5 to 7, taking time off for the eclipse. Monday, April 15th at the West Warwick Public Library, Main Street in West Warwick, 12 to 2, 5 to 7, taking time off for no eclipse. And on Thursday, April
For the
18th,
workers.
at the Pawtucket Public Library. Why do
right.
they go to the libraries? Obviously, because it's they don't have to
Centrally
pay to be
located.
there.
Yeah.
13 Summer Street in Pawtucket, and that one's only in the evening from 5 to 7 because there's no eclipse. So there you go.
All right. Thanks there, Dave. Good luck finding West Exchange and a place to park, by the way.
Yeah,
Well,
all right.
that's why you take the bus, but you can take the bus there.
All right. We got a note that was called in, 766-1240. Do you think they, and they
By-
would be
by-
the...
And by
Yes,
the
Dave?
way, excuse me, one of the things you'll be commenting on at that RIPTA hearing is your opinion on the increase in trip frequency for Route 54, which is the Lincoln Woonsocket Providence route.
Yeah.
So you want to complain about increased frequency of the number of trips of bus 54, the big one from Woonsocket out of town, then you got to go to those things and pound the table and say, I don't want more frequency of bus 54.
Oh, okay. The note says, do you think they, and they being the media, are overplaying today's eclipse? Well,
Oh my goodness!
when you have something that only happens once every 20 years or so, they kind of jump on it and say,
Yeah.
oh,
I-
it's kind of a
it
big
is a big deal. It is really
Come
cool.
on,
It
the
is. I
last-
think it's
The
cool.
last eclipse was 7 years ago.
Yeah, but not a total
Seven.
eclipse like this.
It was a total eclipse somewhere. They're all total eclipses somewhere.
Yeah,
That's
but not
true.
here.
And in
Yeah.
2017, we had one you could see in the Blackstone Valley.
But according to today's...
But it wasn't as nice as the one we're going to have today.
But according to today's Old Farmer's Almanac, we're not getting another good one until 2044. So
Oh,
give it another,
really?
yeah, give it another 20 years. Plus.
I think it's cool. I think it's a good, a cool thing, a neat thing. But you know, there's a lot of hype.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
You
'Cause
know.
It's like when Halley's Comet swings around every 75 years. Here it comes again. Okay.
Oh, my goodness, it's gonna
everybody
crash.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
All right. Are they hyping it up? Well, of course they are. But then after
At least we have good weather, right? Because I mean, if we didn't, then it would kind
Well,
of.
we're lucky that we have
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
weather. So many people across the Isle of Totality do not have good weather today.
Mhm.
It was mentioned to me that northern Texas and Oklahoma are two places that will have disappointing views, you know, although they are in the path of totality.
It's good for the towns that are in that path.
Many.
Yeah. Some of the smaller towns that are making money
Yep.
off of this, and it's, I mean, and they've been planning it. I saw that some towns have been planning it for like a year and a half. So
Yeah.
good for them, right?
Well,
Benefits them.
they have a special thing going on this afternoon at 3:30 at the Woonsocket Harris Public Library.
Yep.
It's not going to be going outside and staring at the sun or its corona or the 10% that's left of it. But they will have some instructional things, especially for young people or curious people at the library here in Woonsocket today.
All those little STEM kids.
And when you cancel school for these things, it's going to be in the news. Are we hyping it too much? You bet. But you never know because, we didn't plan on hyping it. We respond to what everybody else is saying.
Yeah. All right. And
Because frankly, I don't care. I'm going to be doing my work anyway. And I
you know,
remember
oh, it got dark. Oh, okay.
when I was a much younger boy, I used to love to read stories of strange happenings and things like that. Not necessarily ghost stories, but strange things. And there was a book I read one time, and it talked about a total eclipse of the sun in Connecticut, from the standpoint of this small town in Connecticut. And I forget the name of the town, but it was one of the towns closer to the Long Island Sound, so in the southern part of Connecticut. Might have been something like Stonington or something like that. And there was they were having their town council meeting in the afternoon when the sun darkened and the moon completely obliterated it. Chickens went to roost, dogs fell asleep, the cows came home. All the rest of this stuff was going on, natural things that would happen at sundown. And so the council president was quoted, and I always loved this quote. He said, he ordered that candles be brought into the chamber so they could continue. And but there were people coming in and say it's the end of the world and stuff like that. They were rushing right in. You have to pass a law against this, or all these different things. And people were just getting a little flaky. And he stood up and said, "Look, this is either the end of the world or it isn't. But for myself, if I'm to see my maker today, I would prefer he find me doing my work." And I said, that's a great quote.
So is it the rapture or not the rapture today?
In these enlightened times, with all the scientific knowledge we have, we know it's coming.
Right.
But imagine those folks back in the early 1800s.
Oh my goodness, what is happening?
Right, who didn't have access to scientific knowledge.
And then all of a sudden, everything was normal again.
That was like, there's a
Surprise.
literature thing on that, Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's court kind of thing. And he knew the eclipse was coming. And he said, if you don't, they were going to kill him or something like that. If you don't do what I say, I'm going to block out the sun. And they said, oh, yeah, block out the sun. Of course, here comes the eclipse. Ooh, how did he know? It's magic. Kind of thing. So,
Burn
anyway,
him, he's a witch. Burn him.
that's right. He's a witch.
Out of the frying pan and into the fire.
So be happy that the media is harping on this, because tomorrow it's right back to the southern border and how do we handle Gaza?
Oh,
And
my
so
goodness.
that's what we
Oh,
go right
yeah.
back to. So
Right.
there you go. They've done a study, and they have found that the rate of problem gambling in Massachusetts has remained steady since the 3 casinos have opened. It
Yeah.
hasn't gone way up like I'm sure
Same
some
thing
people
they
predicted.
found in Connecticut, eh?
Yeah. They surveyed 3,000 people. About 10% are addicted to gambling or at risk. The number of those who know how to get help has gone down by half, though. That's odd.
Yeah, well, you know what it is. Now that it's required in advertising, they kind of like swallow it and put it off to the side.
Well, the part of, if you have a problem, call this number.
Right.
Yeah, and
you know,
in the very fast talking voice at the end, like
Yeah,
like
1-800
when they,
blah, blah, blah.
right. If you take
And-
this, you're gonna
yeah,
die,
right.
and you might die, or
And
you might have
they
your
have the
whatever.
signs up inside the casinos, but they're not like
They
happy
do?
signs. They're easily ignored.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I guess they are.
I would
there.
like to think that if you are at a table where the house is represented by a human being, that the operative would survey the situation, and if they think that you are in a bad position, they would call someone over to have a talk with you.
Ooh, I don't think so, Dave.
No?
I have
I'd
never
like to
seen
think
that.
that.
I've never seen that. You know where
They
you're
don't?
going this week. If you have a chance, look around to see if they actually do that. And
I don't spend any time in the casinos out there.
oh,
Well, except that you can't get into one of those places without walking through their
one.
casino.
Exactly.
glance around.
There was a beaten path through that casino.
I mean, did putting the Surgeon General's warning on cigarettes stop people from buying cigarettes? It was there.
were
They
still
could read it.
smoking.
They were still smoking. And if they wanted to quit smoking,
But how do people not know about Gamblers Anonymous?
Well, here's the
There's
situation.
Alcoholics Anonymous. Everybody knows about.
Here's
That's
the
there, too.
situation that I think I understand. although thank goodness I haven't had to deal with this in my own family, that you don't know when you're addicted to this stuff.
All right.
I mean, there may be when it goes way over the top extremes. Now you're losing your house because
Yeah.
you've spent the mortgage money and all the rest of that stuff.
There's a lot of
then
denial
Any
there.
idiot can figure that out, but the actual person doing it may be in denial, and they may be justifying their habit or their, what do they call it? A hobby?
It's an addiction.
Well, it may be an addiction that they are just justifying. So it takes a while before it's plain to everyone that it's, and that makes it difficult. It makes it very, very difficult. But I'd like to think that if I was going too far, somebody would pull me aside and say, "Hey, are you sure you want to do this? We're not going to stop you, but are you sure you want to do this? Look at the consequences."
I don't see
Right,
that
and-
happening at any casino.
right.
Dave.
No.
And how do you know, right, that the person is, this isn't something that you can see when they come to work, or, you know, they're not visibly looking or acting any different. And then, you know, maybe they go and they gamble alone, and you may not know that, you know, they've just gambled away their mortgage
Yeah,
money.
well, like
for-
with most addictions, when it's in its infancy, it's not so obvious
Yeah.
to casual observers.
once
I know
once
that's the
people
case
know,
with-
that's the
with people who are on drugs. I've heard many stories. One in particular, one actress I can think of that everybody's seen on TV. She got the monkey on her back early in her career, and she lasted seasons. But the rest of the staff after season 2 knew for sure that she had an awful, awful drug problem. But, you know, she still hit her marks. She did her lines. She was on the air. She did her part. And then finally they had to fire her because she was nodding off on set.
I think if you watch, the pit bosses are much more concerned with their dealers,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that they're not ripping them off.
Yeah.
And
Well-
they're also a little more concerned that the players playing are also not cheating.
Well, that's, of course, a very big thing.
Yeah, so that's what they're
Yeah.
more concerned with. Not that you're gambling the mortgage money. They really don't care where you get your chips from.
Well, they get in big, big trouble with the authority that allows them to operate a house of gambling if they are taken advantage of in those. If they can't assure a quote unquote fair game by the standards of the industry. Now, we all know it's not fair because we all know that the odds are in favor of the house if you gamble long enough. We all know that. You know it. They know it. Everybody knows it. But you're trying to get in, make a quick strike, and buzz
And
off.
get out.
And that's the allure. And so they have their fun that way. And it's a service that they provide, but they are bound to make it appear as fair as they can.
All right, we're going to take a break on the Coffee and program. More coming your way. Please stick around.
What does it mean to be owned by your customers? It means we don't answer to a headquarters in New York or a board of directors in Switzerland. It means we answer to a teacher in Woonsocket, a small business owner in Greenville, a contractor in Warwick. Our customers are our owners. Our owners are our customers. Come join us. Navigate Credit Union.
The St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center presents the 14th annual Breakfast with the Saints on Sunday, April 28th from 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Enjoy a delicious breakfast buffet under the magnificent frescoes of the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center. Tickets are $20 in advance or $25 at the door and are available at Belos Flowers, Creative Impressions, The Honey Shop, Timeless Antiques, Vos True Value Hardware. Visit the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center website, or to reserve a table, call 401-486-9380.
Coffee and on ONAM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Murray and Dave Richards as well. Registered voters in the city of Woonsocket cast their ballots at 6 polling locations for the presidential preference primary on Tuesday, April 2nd.
Isn't this a little old? We did that last Tuesday,
Yep.
didn't we?
And a total of 803 voters turned out to
Oh
vote
my
in person.
goodness.
225 voted by mail, and 64 voted early in person at City Hall. Unofficial results can be found online at elections.ri.gov. The Woonsocket Board of Canvassers would also like to take the opportunity to notify the public that the Republican and Democratic city committees will be hosting Secretary of State Greg Amore and the Rhode Island Department of State Elections Divisions for an Elections Integrity Forum, open and free to the public latest this month, which will take place on April 20th from 9:30 to 11:30 at the Woonsocket Education Center at 115 Main Street. Excellent opportunity for election administrators to better understand their constituents' concerns and questions, as well as giving attendees a chance to hear the facts of election administration right from the source. So there.
I think that's important, and I love that both the Republican and Democratic city committees are doing this together.
Yes. And then
I think that's,
You're
yeah,
not
you don't ever
fighting
see
about
that. Right, you don't ever see that. So I think it's great.
leave your pets at home for the eclipse. Don't bring them outside so they can look
Well,
at
that's
the
what
sun.
they say.
too.
Don't bring the because, like, if you're looking at the
No.
sky, the
They're
pet
gonna
might
look
be
up
looking
at
up
it.
at the
No,
sky.
What are we looking at?
No, you know what? I'm seeing all these notices about this. Pets aren't as dumb as that. They don't ever look up into the sky at night. They just think it's nighttime. What they're telling you not to bring your pets out is if you're going into like crowds of people and your pet may not be good around people, or you're out in like public, and you know they say just leave your pets at home because you know there's less chance of them getting upset, running off. That they're not going to look at the sun. Only humans do that.
Before the eclipse moves on to Canada, the last totality will be at 3:30 this afternoon in Caribou, Maine. I've been to Caribou. Any of you two been to Caribou?
I've been to Caribou Coffee. They don't exist anymore though.
There's not much going on in Caribou, Maine.
There's an eclipse today.
There is an eclipse today, although I do think there's a Walmart there. So
You know what? But they'll get a lot of visitors, and
there's not a lot of places to stay in Caribou. At least the
yeah,
last time I
well,
was there.
hopefully there's some place to eat and.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
nice and
but
busy.
Walmart lets you park your RV. No facilities,
Yeah.
but you can park your RV there.
So
So
I
you're
don't
saying there's
want
not
Walmart
a
to
lot
get all
of
the
places
money.
to stay? Well,
I want the little
there's
guys
a lot
to
of
get the
farms
money.
up that way. Over 20 New York prisons will be closed to visitors today because of the eclipse. And they have scheduled lockdowns so inmates can't see the event. 6 inmates at Woodbourne Correctional Facility sued the State Department of Corrections, saying denying them the right to see the eclipse violated their religious rights. And they won. The
Their
prison-
religious rights.
We worship the sun. I don't know. Or the moon. The prison agreed to allow the 6 men to view the eclipse. However, most inmates will remain in lockdown during the event. Wow.
I should have got in on that.
Should
On
get
that
him
suit.
What religion is that? That's right.
What religion is that?
King Kong.
Also,
by the-
not the best place to be if your religion is
yeah.
worshiping the sun.
Yeah, it's inside. Godzilla times King Kong, the new empire, is still #1 at the box office, by the way, in case you were wondering.
Okay.
I wasn't.
No?
Wasn't.
No? Okay.
No.
Monkey Man is in #2. I mean, the premise sounds so silly. For Monkey Man, it's about a young man who fights in an underground fight club while wearing a gorilla mask. I mean,
Okay.
there's got to be more to it than that.
So,
why,
like-
why would you go see that?
So Fight Club with the monkey mask.
Yes, but somehow it's
Well, except they talk about it.
somehow it's a thriller that sounds like a comedy, but it's not.
Yeah, I know. It does sound like a comedy.
Ghostbusters is in 3rd, and the first Omen, which I guess is a throwback to the old Omen movies from the 70s. There's a new one.
Yes.
Is now in 4th place.
I want to see that.
You do?
Have you? Yeah. Have you seen the trailers for it?
No,
Okay. So
it looks scary, and I don't
they-
want to see it.
Oh. I loved the first Omen. This is a prequel, and they do
Okay.
it in like a 70s, 60s style where it looks like it was filmed around that time. And it looks
Oh,
like it's
all
going to
right.
be really good just because of the effects that they're going to have. So I'm kind of excited about that.
So you want to see it?
I haven't wanted to see a movie in a really long time, but I want to see this one.
Okay. We don't have to worry. Georgia is the worst of the 50 states for health care. You were down there for Georgia.
Shocking.
Would you you would agree with that? What's the problem in Georgia?
I mean, most of the southern states are in the bottom.
Okay.
You know, I'm surprised that Mississippi isn't worse, or Louisiana, but I was unfortunate enough to not have health insurance when I lived there. It was before health insurance was available to everyone in the marketplace, and Yeah, I just didn't go to the doctor, so which I don't advise. But I was, young and 20 something, so.
Yes, Dave.
I've got to leave the studio for a technical issue.
All right, thanks. All right. Well, thanks for stopping on by.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Go take care of that. So anyway, Georgia has the third highest percentage of residents who lack health coverage, the fifth highest kidney disease mortality rate, and the eighth highest stroke mortality rate.
Right.
Doesn't say why, but Georgia ranks.
Kidney, huh?
Yeah, Georgia ranks eighth on the list when it comes to the highest average deductible for residents with employer-paid coverage.
Yeah, that's bad.
Alabama and North Carolina fared only slightly better than Georgia. I don't have Mississippi on the list, so.
Because the deductibles are so high. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not good.
So they look at 25 metrics, and they just Georgia fell short compared to all of the states with respect to affordability, doctor-to-patient ratio, affordable insurance plans, and other metrics.
Yeah, I certainly couldn't afford a church when I lived there, but that was, I've been back
Only
here.
because it's that high?
Well, it was high probably everywhere to me at that point. Like I said, I was in my
Yeah,
20s. So this was
So anything over 50
while.
bucks is too much.
Yeah, right. I was working,
Yeah.
whatever job I could get, and
I'm
yeah,
young.
I didn't have.
I'll be,
I was young.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, it was fine. I didn't, and I didn't
I
do
feel
the
good,
up
and
to
that's it.
26 thing then,
Yeah,
right? Right.
yeah.
You were 21 and you were off. So, it wasn't a good time. There were a couple times I had to go to the ER for asthma attack.
So what'd you do? Did you pay out of pocket or just?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been high too.
Yeah. It was not good. She's like, oh, here's your bill. Okay, well, I can give you like $25 a week. I mean, you're a kid, like you can't.
And they were okay with that?
No, they're not. It's not. That's not good enough. But what are you gonna do? You can't get.
I did that one time with I forget what doctor, hospital, or whatever. And I got the bill, and I sent them like $50 or whatever. And they called me, and they said, "Well, this is what you owe." I said, "Didn't you see my payment?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I go. I'm gonna send that.
Right. You're paying in good faith.
I'm gonna pay that once a month. Oh, we need to set this up ahead of time. Well, go ahead and set it up then.
Right.
But
right.
this is what I'm paying you because that's what I can
Right.
afford to pay you.
But if you're
But
paying,
it wasn't in their system, and I had only sent one payment.
Yeah.
They were expecting like $600 for whatever
you don't get
it
to
was.
make your own payment.
Oh, yes, I do.
No, I mean that's what they,
I know
they
that's what they're
think,
thinking.
right?
So they're expecting $600. I sent them 50, and so then they called me. You're a little short. I understand that. Next month I'm going to send you another 50. We're just going to keep doing this
Right.
until it's paid off.
But they like to set
Oh,
up the
that's not-
payments,
that's
and,
right.
and
That's
they're
not
going
in
to
our
tell you,
notes.
okay, we'll set up payments. Okay, so we're going to have you pay $105 a month for, and you're like, well, I can't pay $105 a month. And they're like, oh, sorry, we're going to send you to collections. No, you shouldn't ever. Yeah, don't get me on a rant. I have a bill about this. So.
All right. There was another one. This is with teeth, crowns or something like that.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, with your dental insurance, it will only cost you whatever it was. We'll use $600 as a plan. Don't. And then this is almost a true statement. They said, don't worry if you can't pay it all. Pay $300 now and $300 later. I go, that really doesn't help. Can we drop it down a little more and we'll spread it over 4 or 5 payments? Let's talk that. And they think they're helping. Oh, we'll just split it in half.
And it's terrible because dental insurance hardly covers anything besides cleanings
Cleanings,
and
X-rays.
and X-rays. And if you need anything else, so you're gonna pay for it, which is why people don't get dental care, which is why they have heart problems, and
It's all connected, right?
it's all connected.
That's why the dentist now, and I hate this part. They grab your tongue and they yank it around because they're looking underneath. And everything okay in here? Oh, it really hurts.
Right.
Okay, everything looks good. Gee, great.
I mean, nobody really likes the dentist. I don't know anybody who's like, oh, I love going to the dentist.
But I used to say that when I was a kid.
Well,
And
yeah, because they gave you stuff.
well, no, because everything was always fine. And growing up,
You didn't have braces.
I forget. No, I did have braces.
Oh, I did too.
But growing up, there was a toothpaste, and I can't remember if it was Crest or Colgate or one of them, said use ours, especially for your kids, because these are the cavity-prone years. So we used whatever it was, And I went to the dentist. I'm 5, 6, 7, never a problem. So this must be working. And I didn't have a cavity until I turned 18. And then they came one after another, after another, after another, after another.
You
I
should have
said,
kept using that too.
but I did. And I'm like,
okay.
I don't know what happened. I was fine when I was 10. And I can still remember the dentist saying, here's another Callahan kid with a great set of teeth. Never an issue
Yeah.
until I became an adult. Major issues.
I
with
never had a
cavities.
cavity until I was 26.
And
No cavities, no cavities, no cavities.
yeah,
but I
that's
needed
great.
braces. I needed a retainer. I needed to get my wisdom teeth out, but no cavities.
My
I was still an expensive kid.
my lower jaw, so my bottom teeth are in front of my top teeth, which is backwards. And getting braces helped correct that a little because it slowed down the growth of my jaw. But when the braces were taken off, it also pushed my teeth together. But
Yeah.
when the braces were taken off, my jaw kept growing. And so I'm back to where I was, where the bottom teeth are in front of the top teeth. And the orthodontist told me at one time, he goes, the only way to fix this, if you want to do it, we have to break your jaw
Yep.
and pull it back
That's what they do for TMJ too.
and fix it that way.
Yeah.
I said, that sounds painful. Yeah, and we wire your
Oh, yeah.
jaw shut and like that. I said, I don't want to do this. He goes, there's no need to do it unless two things. One, it's for aesthetic reasons. Going to be on TV a lot? No. Okay.
Or
and the other was,
headaches.
yeah, if you're,
Yeah.
it may cause you pain.
Yeah.
And if
Migraines.
that's the case, then then you should do it. I said, okay, let's ride it out, and we'll see where it goes. And
I had a family member.
no pain.
Yep,
So,
who had to do it because of the opposite reason.
Yeah.
Grinding, TMJ, migraines. So the jaw was broken and they added pieces
Oh, wow.
in and wired it shut
And pushed it forward?
Pushed it forward.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not something you do unless like you are in
A lot of
real
pain.
big pain. And I had the opposite problem. I had an overbite and they like mostly corrected it
Mm-hmm.
when they gave me a retainer. So, but it,
Yeah.
they're like all these magical things, but then it costs a lot of money. Kids are expensive.
Oh yeah, and I remember my dad saying at one time, he goes, "Well, the braces were expensive, and,
Yeah.
and as opposed to now. Back then, if you look at the cost of it back then, it really wasn't. But he goes, "Do you get a cleaning out of this?" And I'm like, "No,
No.
you should." I said, well, talk it over with the orthodontist.
Yeah, and I had braces too, and the retainer too, and then same as you. As soon as the retainer came out, my bottom teeth are crooked, and I always say someday I'm going to get braces and I'm going to fix. I have one
them.
like out of place, and it bothers me. Nobody else cares except for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Maybe for my birthday this year when I turn 50, I'll get braces.
Get that Invisalign thing.
Or whatever, I'm sure. Whatever they do now,
that's the
right?
new
Because like
thing.
I haven't had braces in like 35 years or something. Maybe
All right.
more.
We got to go. We've run out of time. So thank you very much for listening. Thanks to Dave Richards, who was here earlier. And Melissa, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great eclipse. Don't look at the sun, please, without
Yes.
the proper glasses.
And my name's Joe Callan. Have yourself a great day. Enjoy the eclipse. It is going to get dark this afternoon. Just don't worry about it. And stay tuned for Leslie Page with At the Library. Karen Zangari with Food First. It's all next here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And